All right, welcome to the Creation to Cash Flow podcast. I love this podcast. It is so much fun starting these episodes every time. And on this podcast, we are going to discuss some strategies to maximize your creativity and help you achieve financial freedom. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing good. I am grateful, zen, ready to get in today's episode. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I've been getting a lot of sun and doing a lot of fun things and taking really good care of myself in the mornings. I've really been starting off most of my days with like long meditations and plenty of thought, and I'm feeling really at peace. And it's giving me a lot more clarity in like decisions I should make and where I should place my focus, which leads us into today's topic, which is what should you focus on? We did an episode kind of like this before. It was a little more about like addressing problems like lack of focus and shiny object syndrome. And it was one of our best episodes. That was our first episode, right?
Yeah.
People love that episode because I think this is a topic that we can't talk about enough. And honestly, it's so hard as a human. Like, where do you put your energy into? Because we're all stuck. Like, we all just want to make a living and be free. But, like, you have to work and you have to do hard things and you have to make hard decisions. And there's just so much that goes into it. So, um, I want to ask you to start this off. How do you know what to focus on as you?
So, this has been a journey. I'm not going to say I have it perfect. I'm not going to say I've always known what to focus on, but I will say these days I have this like I wish it was so easy to explain, Nick, but it's so not because it's very gut feeling driven. Like I focus on things. Obviously, if I've said yes to something, I focus on that. I'm always going to show up. I'm always going to follow through with things that I say I'm going to do. But I'm also very intentional at saying no to a lot of things because I know they don't need to be something I need to focus on based upon how excited I am about that thing. Is this going to get me closer to my goals? This something that I'm truly, truly excited about and feel like it's what I should be doing? Like I ask myself, like, does this give me excitement? Is this driven by what number I could make, or is this truly driven by is this in alignment with who I am and how I'm wired? And I ask myself that with every brand collab DM or email that my assistant gets and asks me about. I'm like, am I excited about this? And then that's where I know, is this something I should be focusing on?
That's such a good answer. You're right. It's so hard. Like, I know this, but I often still struggle with it. I will do things or build my business in such a way where I'm looking too much at the numbers and I'm not looking at like what is going to excite me. Like it's a perfect example of this. And I've made this mistake before and had to make corrections because I'm a human and everyone is. Sometimes you take on the wrong client because they're there cash in hand. And this could be in any kind of business. And you're like, oh my God, perfect. That's everyone's dream. Clients lined up, cash in hand that want the thing you offer. But if what they're if that client does not excite you or you're not excited for what you're going to help them build, you're going to be better off in the long run saying no. Like, sure, you might cash a check quickly, but it's very hard to make that decision of like chasing happiness first and money second, because money is the necessity, but actually on a deeper level, like, it's happiness. Like, sure, you need some money to be alive, but like if your basic needs are met, happiness is the thing.
Yeah, it's always going to be what is best in the long run. And this is a great example. Even so, last week, one of my long term clients, that was actually one of my first clients back in 2020, like they are the people, like I built a website and branding package and started their social media accounts and like was running digital ads for them back in 2020. So 4 years later, I'm still working with this company right now, no more social media, no more branding, but they do have little businesses they're constantly starting, and I'll do like a website here and there for them. And last week they called me. They're like, "Hey, we have another company. We need a website. It needs all these things." And I was like, "Should I do this? Like this could be a $5,000 thing." I'm like, "Dang, $5,000, that's amazing." Like I mean, I'm trying to save up for Dubai. So I'm like, okay, like I should do this. But then I had to ask myself, Michelle, is this in alignment with building your personal brand? Is this in alignment with helping content creators and acting classes and all these things? And I was like, no, it's not. And I turned it down, $5,000. And I could easily do it. But the thing is, Nick, it's time consuming to build a website. I know how to do it, but I was like, this is not in alignment with where I'm going. Isn't that
Wow.
hard? I would have
Wow.
never done that 2 years ago. 1 year ago, I would have never done that. I would have never had to make that hard of a decision. But it was actually pretty easy for me because I was like, no, this isn't for me. Like find somebody else who is passionate about website design, who is trying to build a business. Like there's somebody else out there, and I'm not going to take their spot and that opportunity from them for the money when I know it's not in alignment with where I'm going in life.
Wow. That's crazy. I also, like a year or two ago, was in a very similar spot where I'm like, someone wants to pay me to like for anything. It's like deal.
Oh, yeah. And listen, if you're starting out, do it. I'm so grateful I did all those websites and branding packages and social media, like managing social media, because I had to learn what I really like. Honestly, I think that got me to where I am today because I run my own website right now. Like, I was able to build my own lifewithmichelle.com website. And I know I can do it. I've been able to bless my cleaning lady. I think we've talked about that. Like, I've built websites and done things for people. So I don't regret doing it in the past. I don't. I'm grateful I learned. I'm grateful I know how to do these things. However, there comes a point when you're like, is this what I need to be focusing on right now? And you'll know. I knew it wasn't anymore. I knew it internally. There's not a right or wrong answer. Isn't that so difficult? Like, how do you teach that to somebody?
It's so hard. I'm actually going through something very similar in my own business. I'm saying no 100 times more than I'm saying yes right now.
Same.
I'm like really slowing things down there so I can put my energy in other places. And it's brought so much peace into my life. I feel so damn good. Because I used to say yes to anyone. Because I know you put any person in front of me, I can help you start that business, get your social media off the ground, get your first couple of clients, get some money in the door, and have the whole identity change that you need to have to become a business owner. I can help someone do that. Oh my God, that takes a lot though. That takes so much. And I'm now so much pickier about people that are like, I want people that are most of the way there. I don't, it's hard because I'm still trying to figure out what and who I am looking for. I just know that it's not people that need that much help. I know I can help them, but it takes so much out of me that it's not worth just like accepting a bunch of clients and taking a bunch of money in just because it's a bunch of money coming in. And it's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I stopped one on one coaching. That's the thing is like, I could do it and I still love helping people. Thankfully, we're in Brands Meet Creators Academy. And so we're able to help creators each call that we have together. But the one on one coaching to me, Nick, like it was like, yes, I could help people. Yes, I'm getting some money. But I was also like, there's something about my time and effort too. And I love coaching people, I love helping people. But the people that I really love working with are the people that are taking initiative and like they will do what I'm telling them to do. They don't like need me to necessarily tell them every single step along the way. Like they're kind of creative problem solvers. And that's okay. Like I'm not saying I don't want to help everybody. I do. I do want to help everybody any way I can. But that's where I was like, does my focus need to still be on like stopping my whole creative process to go help people? Like, how else can I help people? Which BMC, the Academy, has been like that thing for me. So I still feel like I'm able to help people. This podcast, obviously, as well. But I had to ask myself that. I'm like, dang, is this something I need to be focusing on right now? And it can change. I want to like normalize that as well. Like it can always change. You have to ask yourself almost daily, like, what is this in alignment with what I'm good at, what I care about, where I want to go, what I want to be doing. And that, I mean, that's a really good indicator for you.
All right, I have some things to unpack there, but I also want to just mention if anyone is looking to see some of Michelle's website design experience, you should check out
Oh
creationtocashflow.com.
yeah.
Oh my God. And by the way, while you are there, you might as well just leave us a voice memo with a question you want us to answer on the podcast. I mean, since you're already over there, you might as well just do it, you know? But in all seriousness, like we love getting feedback from you guys on like episode topics, people you want to see, or if you want us to actually play your question on the podcast, we will do it. So I don't know, since you guys are already going over to creationtocashflow.com, you might as well just check it out. But anyway, I want to go a layer deeper, Michelle. How do you trust and feel out your instincts in situations like this? I want to hear like what that feels like internally for you, and I'll give my best description as well because it's not going to be easy to describe.
This has changed a lot over the years in the best way possible. I'm not going to say it was easy at first. Honestly, for me, in order for me to truly feel and hear where I should be going, I have to silence things. I mean, if you've ever listened to our podcast, you know I'm on Do Not Disturb 24/7. I'm almost too unreachable. I'm working on it. I'm working slowly to like not be that way. But at the same time, I had to learn how to control what am I allowing in my head? What am I allowing to give me dopamine hits? What am I allowing to drive that little adrenaline rush? Because if I get addicted to the adrenaline rush of good, like a lot of likes on social media or money, then I am not making really strategic decisions based on where I should be going. I'm instead letting something else I really can't control dictate where I should be going and becoming my motivation. And that way, my motivation can easily go away if it's not something I can control. And so I had to learn how to truly cut out distractions, unnecessary dopamine hits, things that like drive me. And I had to ask myself, like, what is something I can control? For me, I can control my perspective on things and I can control my creativity. So that's what I know I can focus on is like what is giving me energy, what is fulfilling my battery, what is making me feel like I can lose track of time, which is always going to be like creating and like filming and editing. I don't know. I mean, listen, that's why I'm unreachable. I literally can do something for 7 hours and I'm like, "Oh my god, I have 20 missed calls." But I didn't know and it didn't stop my process. And so I think just knowing like this is not going to leave me drained and it is something that can help people, which is something I truly care about. I know not everybody has that passion in life, but I do. I want to help people. And if I know that my video of organizing can help somebody have a decluttered mind, a decluttered home, like I want to put my effort and time into that.
You are so much better at blocking out things than me. I'm too reachable. It's such a problem that I'm working on and I'm improving at. Um, I'm so impressed by how little you can answer people on your phone. It is like it is a skill, truly. Like
I don't know.
because it's no, I mean there might be a happy medium in between, like where I'm at and where you're at, um, and there's benefits to being in either spot. But I really like the way that you described all of these feelings and how you feel it out and how you give yourself the space to do it. Do you want to add something? It's only me and you. You don't have to even raise your hand.
I know, but you're kind of lagging and I didn't want to interrupt you if you were saying something.
Oh, okay.
One thing too is I ask myself, like, the decisions I'm making today, are they coming from my amygdala or my prefrontal cortex? Now, if you don't know what those things are, remember when we did the 5 a.m. club thing, we talked about the amygdala, that little like almond shaped thing. Honestly, there are there are stressors in our lives, and if we're operating from the amygdala, we're operating off of adrenaline and off of stress and off of like rushing and all of these things. And that skews my decision making when I'm running off of that specific like stress hormone. But when I'm more in my prefrontal cortex, I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking more about things that are going to drive me to that next step in life, that are going to help me grow into becoming exactly who I want to be, which is like who I am now, but I want to continue growing and flourishing and thriving. And so I'm like, does this make me feel like I'm thriving or does this stress me the F out? Like those are the two things. And that's where you can decide like, okay, am I operating like off of the amygdala, which is going to leave me drained and do the revenge bedtime procrastination that you always talk about, like, or am I stressed a little and like rushing in a way of like, I need to get this done, but I'm also going to give myself time and grace and do it with, you know, effort, not feeling like I'm forced to do something, which is more like it allows me to use that prefrontal cortex where I'm able to actually use more of my creative problem solving and everything like that.
That's a super solid way of thinking about it. I have a massively less intelligent way of how I've been doing this. I look at the things and I'm like, is this a chore or a treat?
Ooh, I like that.
I don't I never think of it that way, but I just look at it like, am I going to be happy to do this or sad typically? But as I'm sitting here, I was like, chore or treat sounds better because they both have the ch sound.
Oh my
But
God.
anyway, it it to me that's what I've been trying to do. And I'm not a perfect person either. I'm a work in progress, just like anyone else. I'm trying to figure out what I should focus on, but it's really helped to just look at things and be like, am I going to be excited to do that? If I take on this client and then I have to actually meet with them every week for X amount of weeks, is that going to be a chore or a treat? Because part of it is like, do I even like this person? You know, or am I just accepting them because they have money and I know I can help them? And it's like, I also want to work with these people. I want to do these things. Um, and I've been doing this lately with my morning routine. Jose has been helping me. If you're listening to this and you want to hear what I would consider to be my favorite episode, go back. It was maybe 10 episodes ago, if that, where we brought on Jose as a guest. Oh my god, it's our longest episode too. So that's how you know it's good. But anyway, Jose has been helping me just revamp how I start my day. Um, and what I have now are options. I have 5 different 3 step routines to choose from when I wake up. So that, because one thing I always struggle with is like doing one morning routine consistently for a long time. I get bored of them. They start to feel like a treat at first, and then eventually they become a chore. But now I have options. So when I wake up, I'm like, ooh, like what's going to be the treat for today? So like this morning, I Palo Santo'd my room. I cleaned and I did a supposed to meditate for like 10 to 60 minutes. I just went for a while. It was probably like 25 or 35 minutes. Um, and then I did some laundry and I was like, what a nice start to the day because that was a treat. While tomorrow I might look at my list when I wake up and be like, I'm craving movement. Like I want to do some somatic shaking in my garden and then go for a walk and then hydrate. So I'm trying to set my life up in ways where there are more treats for me and less chores. And even for me, like routines lately have become a chore because I'm like, oh, I have to do this because I said last night I would. But now I'm trying to set things up in such a way where I get excited and I'm trying to build my business and only accept clients that excite me. And I feel like it's brought so much peace and good energy into my life, just focusing on what's going to truly make me happy, not how much money I'm making and materialistic things.
Yeah, and it's nice to be in this place now, but I know I wasn't always, right? Like, I remember the first time I said no to someone, I was like, I'm leaving money on the table. I'm being lazy. Like, I had all these lies in my head, and I just couldn't wrap my head around, like, oh my God, if I want something, why would I say no? But then I realized, like, oh, I can still get it just because this opportunity is in front of me and this door is open. If they're a headache client, that doesn't mean that's the only opportunity I'll ever get or the only door that's open. I just have to close that option and look around at, like, okay, what other options are there? Otherwise, I'm doing myself a disservice and self sabotaging myself because of fear of losing money or missing out on money, even though there's plenty of money to go around. This world is so abundant. And so it's like I had to learn to slowly allow myself the option of asking myself, wait, does this make me happy? Like, that wasn't even an option when I was starting. I was just like, does this make me money? Even actually before that, I was like, does this make somebody else their business better? Because I wasn't taking money at first. Does this drive my skills and my progress and growth? That is like how I started. I was like, what will get me, not money, I wasn't even making it yet. I was like, what will get me the skill set I need? What will get me the experience I need? And then I slowly started to add in, okay, now what will get me experience and money? And now I'm like, what will get me happiness and then money? Like those are like my, it was experience and then it was experience and money. And now I'm like, okay, flip flop, happiness first, but also I need to make money, obviously. But I just want to say that because I know some people listening to this podcast are not in that space yet where they want to say no. And that's okay. I did not say no. If you haven't heard any of our other podcasts, I want you to know I did 49 gifted collaborations with UGC before I got paid for any of them. And I have a business marketing degree. Like I have experience, but I was still in that place where I was like, I'm a learner. I'm in the learning stage, not the earning stage. That's another really good podcast we've done before. And so Nick came up with that, by the way. And so you just kind of had to ask yourself, where are you right now in this season of life? And what are your priorities? What's your priority? Right now, mine is happiness. I am just so at peace. I've been at peace for like a year and a half, I feel like. I'm just like living in this like I know we have ups and downs and everything throughout the year. We've had so many podcasts where I've been down or we've been in the winter, quote unquote, not cold, but just like a darker season, darker week of our life, whatever. But I'm still just like always chasing that peace. And I'm attracting things into my life that bring me that peace. And I'm detracting and like things are like, I guess I have a boundary up around me and things that aren't like in alignment with that, they like repel. Like I don't even see a lot of things anymore because they don't cross this like little bubble I have. It's really nice.
It sounds really nice. I'm working on it. You said so much good stuff in there that I want to unpack. First, I wish I came up with the learning versus earning stage. I heard it somewhere. We just did a really good job expanding on it and people loved it. I heard it somewhere. And I know I mentioned it in that episode. So if the person who created it is listening, is like, I came up with that, I know you did, whoever you are. And thank you. Next, I really like those, like, almost like the phases of business that you just described. Like, it always starts off like, am I helping someone? Usually, it should anyway, like good intentions. Then it's like, am I earning some money? Like, this is obviously an important part of a business. Like, is this a business? Am I earning money? And then the third stage of like ultimate like peace and what you would call success in your business is like, am I happy in my business? A lot of people, they skip the helping people part. They go right to, am I earning money? And then it's very hard to get to that place of happiness because you skip the part of, am I actually helping people? It's very interesting. I've seen so many people try and start businesses that are not focused on helping people. They start with, how much money can I make from this? A lot of them do well, but a lot of them don't. Or the person eventually is like, I don't like this. I'm now stuck in my business. So maybe that's what people should focus on. Maybe it's that simple. First, focus on helping people, then focus on how can you earn some money to keep helping people. And then once you're seeing it start to work, get a little bit pickier. Say, now, how can I be happy with where I'm at and do things that excite me and that are treats, not chores?
Yeah, and one thing that just came to my head too is one time, I mean, it was a couple months ago, but somebody was talking to me about, I always like get in these conversations where it's people with different views, and I freaking love it because it really opens up my mind. And somebody was like, "Isn't it so selfish of you?" And kind of like, I'm too good for this to turn down collabs just because they can't pay, or like they were like, "Isn't it so selfish of you to be like, I'm not doing that because it's not giving me happiness?" And I thought about it and I was like, no, I think it's kind of selfish of me to take something away from somebody else because I see an opportunity. And even though I really don't want to do it, I'm taking it away from somebody else that would want to do it. There's things that we all love to do. And so I would told that person, I was like, it's actually quite the opposite. I feel like I'm being less selfish by trusting myself and then allowing it to, like, if I think of it with the perspective of, somebody else can help this brand. Somebody else that cares about this product more can help this brand, or somebody else that wants to grow in their skill set can help work with this brand. And then that person that I was talking to was like mind blown. They were like, oh my God, like I never thought about it that way. That's so true. And so I wanted to share that because it's like, I'm glad I was asked that because that's a valid question. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, like, is this something that makes you happy? Because if not, there is somebody else out there that could do it, and that could make their day. That could be a huge thing for them for that 1 month to get like the sale or whatever it is. Like, stay true to you. The more true to you you are, the more you will attract your people, exactly your people to you, and you're going to be happy instead of trying to focus on the wrong thing, which is usually just how much money can you make depending on what your business is. Yeah, just I just want people to thrive, because the thing is, when people are happy, you're nicer to people, you're more giving, you care more about those around you in the world. And I just want more of that. And I know I'm just a small, tiny person in one city in America, but it's like at the same time, I think that if we all do a little bit, we do what we can, I think we're going to make a big difference together. And that's what I'm so passionate about.
Wow, this is so inspiring. I'm loving this episode. No wonder this is such a hot topic. And I know the thing that most people are thinking right now is like, must be nice for you guys to just be able to say no to money when I'm like scraping by. I know that there's probably some people thinking that, and to speak on that, you need to know your bare minimums for survival. This is something that's very important to me, and you need to keep them low. Like, I feel like I have, and even still live so well below my means. It's crazy. Like, I could do so much more, and I don't, because I just want to be happy, and there's no like place I can go or thing I can buy that will just make me happy. Like, it's internal work, and it's hard, but like, of course you do need enough money to meet those bare minimums, but like, to me, a big thing is like keeping those low. Like, don't overindulge yourself and create a life where now you have to accept clients into your business or work at a job that you don't like or whatever it is, so that you can meet your bare minimum, because you're not setting yourself up for happiness there. If you can keep your cost of living low, just low enough where you're comfortable and get to say, like, I'm going to do the thing that makes me happy, not the thing that makes me the most money. To me, that's where you want to be. And I don't know, maybe my opinion on that will change, but like right now, just knowing what my bare minimums are, being able to hit those comfortably. And oh, also, we did an episode on this too. We did an episode on like literally how much money do we make, what are our bare minimums, if anyone's curious. That was also like 2 or 3 episodes ago. Um, but I think that's such an important skill, and like knowing what you should focus on is like, first you need to meet your bare minimums for survival. And on that other episode, like, me and Michelle definitely talk about how this was not what our life looked like often. Like, it used to be very hard to just meet those bare minimums, and there was not all this time and energy for self discovery and inner work. But the whole purpose of this podcast is to help you guys get to that place where you can do that, where you can use your creativity to achieve financial freedom. We have so many good like tie-ins today. It feels like this is our last episode
Oh my
ever.
God.
Like, we're like trying to make it all like, and there's that, and there's this. This is not our last episode, but it really is just putting a nice bow on the previous 62 episodes for some reason, because I guess our first episode, and now we're talking about this topic again. Maybe that's why it's happening.
It's a new season, new growth, new things are coming, big things are coming. Like, this is like, maybe we'll start doing more with the podcast or whatever, like we're constantly growing. And no, this is, look, we got to get to 999 so we can swim with dolphins, right? So
Yeah.
did we say that while we were recording? I think I said that
Nope.
before we
So
started
people
recording.
are mortified, unfortunately. They're like, "What did she just say?"
Basically, 999th episode, we're swimming with dolphins because Nick doesn't want to swim with great sharks. It's fine. Different day, different topic. But yeah, this is not the ending. I do feel like we go through these spurts in life and that new things come, like seasons change. And I'm just very honored and excited that we're able to like talk through that each week. Every week we get together and talk through what is going on. And so it's going to be so cool to like go through that experience with not only Nick, but with everybody that listens. So yeah, we're not going anywhere.
Especially because I can think of one specific topic that I've changed my mind on several times, and I've mentioned this. Like for example, when we were first starting this podcast, I would prioritize myself in the morning, and then a couple maybe 20, 30 episodes in, I read this book called by Craig Ballantyne, I think, called like The Perfect Day or something like that. And he put me on to getting your most important work related activity done first thing in the morning so that then the rest of the day you can enjoy yourself. And I was doing that for a little while. And then eventually that was starting to make me feel a little bit burnt out. And now I'm back to like, nope, like meditation and breath work, yoga, things like that in the morning. So there's just so many things, like you said, that like we're actively working through and documenting, and like to speak on that specific topic, both worked really well. But now I'm back to spiritual work in the morning, and it's just interesting, like watching it all unfold because we're just humans. Even when I'm 119 years old, which I definitely will achieve, I'm still going to be like, actually, I'm back to this morning routine or that. And like, I'm still going to be figuring things out. Like there is no final destination, other than like when you die, not to be morbid. So like, just do your best to figure things out every day and put your energy into things that make you happy. Cause we don't know how long people are going to live. I know I'm going to live especially long. It's going to be insane, probably a new record. But other than that, we don't really know.
Oh my God. Yeah, and just know that every suggestion we give are suggestions. Like me and Nick often have not opposing, but we just have different ways of doing things for a reason. And we want you guys to try them out. Try out different things in the morning. Try out 5 a.m. club. Try out 11 a.m. club. Try out 2 a.m. club. Like whatever you want to do. These are suggestions because these are things that have worked for us, especially in a specific season. Like just because you do one thing and it's working and then it stops working doesn't mean that thing wasn't right. It might have just been right for that season of your life. And then you switch and you pivot always. Yeah, just in case anybody's wondering, I think I've stuck to the pretty much the same exact morning routine since we started. I always do I don't look at my phone. I do my little journal. I wake up and I like move my body. I don't consume anything. That is what gets me awake and charges me to then do my most important task of the day. I always try to get that done first thing in the morning. But my first thing in the morning is after I've taken care of myself first for like 30 minutes. So I kind of do a mix of what you do.
Another thing, this is kind of like tangential, but I want to bring it up too. Like I mentioned that, like, oh, doing the same routine, like to me, it doesn't work so well. And like we do have some, like you said, they're not opposing views, but like we have different ways of doing things, and it gives everyone else like so much to extract. Like you can try so much just based on the things we talk about because we're in alignment on a lot of things. We're like, oh, definitely recommend this, and other things we're like, I do this and you do that, and kind of cool to see. Um, but like, there really is so much power in consistency and like doing that thing for a long time. There's this one guy named Jordan. I've been talking about him a lot lately on like coaching calls. His name is Jordan Ferrone or Ferroni. He's got like 1 million followers. So if you search him, it comes up. Jordan, like Jordan, however you say his last name, Ferrone. And you've probably seen him, Michelle. His thing is like taking an ice bath every single day for a year to start my day. And now he's on day like 600 of doing this. He's almost been doing it 2 years, but like he really was. I don't want to say nobody. That is a terrible way to put it, but he was not well known at all. And then he just did this thing that is hard and put his energy into himself and becoming bulletproof by cold exposure. And now he's got millions of followers and like an incredible personal brand and community. And I think it's just so powerful. Like that thing that makes you happy and maybe helps yourself. Like not everyone wants to start a business and help other people. Maybe it's just doing the thing that helps yourself and doing it a lot and sharing that with the world. Maybe that is your ticket to a better life, because he definitely wasn't doing that like for business purposes. He was just trying to figure himself out because he was like not in a good way mentally. And now he's doing incredible and essentially built a business around it because he's got so many followers. Like it's insane. So there's just so much to be said about consistently doing the thing that makes you feel good. And that is what you should focus on, you being the listener and me and Michelle.
Yeah, great point. That's so true. I mean, that's essential, truly. Even if you don't want to have your own business and you're not an entrepreneur, like I know there are people that listen to this podcast that aren't. And I absolutely love that because they still get value because we talk a lot about mindset, you know? But it's like, but the thing that you're doing in your free time, what's your hobby? Do you want to go play pickleball? Like, what is it that you can do? Because that's going to build your confidence and just make you overall, again, a better person, more happy, more giving, more paying it forward, contribute to society and sustainability efforts and all of that stuff, which is like my overall goal for everybody.
Speaking of sustainability, I saw a whale yesterday while I was boating, and it was really cool. It was really cool to see because I don't know if you're aware of this, Michelle, but there's a lot going on off the coast of like New Jersey and New York, like, and a lot of division right now, of people. Some people are trying to put offshore wind, and others are very highly against it. Like it's some really big companies, and it's a really big project, and they're doing all sorts of like sonar exploration, and like oceanic animals are taking the brunt of it. Like dolphins and whales like are dying a lot, and it's crazy and it's sad and it's scary. Um, and it was really nice to see a whale yesterday in person, like 30 yards from my boat. And I just wanted to share that. I don't have a way to tie it back to today's episode.
Well, it ties back to why we said we're swimming with dolphins, and it's because you didn't want to swim with sharks. It all started with the whale Nick saw. I love that. I've been
Yes.
whale watching a couple times. I freaking just love being in the presence of a whale. I just love being in the presence of anything that's massive and scary. Um, I think I'm okay. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Um,
It
cool.
sounds a little bad when
Michelle
I say
loves
it.
being like trapped in a cage with bears.
Okay, no, I don't want to die. I just like, I don't know. There's something about even just like looking out from my apartment and seeing all of Los Angeles. Like, I feel so, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it makes me feel so good to be in a big city, to see like mountains, because I just feel so grateful and like that I'm part of something and that I can make a difference. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Being, it just makes me feel so confident, honestly, and secure in who I am. It's the craziest thing, but I don't know. I just feel very like at peace when I'm around stuff like that.
I love it. You earned it because you put the work into other people and then into building a business and into yourself the entire time. And those are the things that people should focus on. And is there anything else that we should say on this subject?
No, just know that like if you chase three rabbits, you're gonna catch none. Right, Nick? What's that saying?
Yeah, it's if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch none. But the other day, we were talking to someone that was asking about which of the three things they should focus on. And I was like, I just added another rabbit into the saying. I was like, just focus on the one thing for right now. You know, build some consistency there. And if you're looking for more ways to monetize your creativity, find some financial freedom, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, leave us a comment or an actual review so we can read it. If you love this episode, if you love the show, if you want to see us change something about the show, talk to us, get in touch with us. We are easy to reach. You can go to creationtocashflow.com. You can leave us messages, voice memos. There's so much you can do. And if you've been planning on doing it and you still haven't, get it done. That's what you should focus on first. Leave us a message and leave us a review and tell us what you love about the show. Tell us what you don't love about the show. We can take it. We can take it. Um, and we love you guys and thanks for listening. Oh, wait, our socials. That's twice, 2 episodes in a row. I forgot to plug the socials. Um, we'll do Michelle's first. Go look at Michelle's Instagram and TikTok and her everything because it's at Michelle JH with 2 L's, 4 E's. Michelle, you are such an amazing content creator and you share so much good stuff on your social media. I've been a little less active right now, but we're making a comeback now that we saw a whale yesterday and I got a video of it. Go check it out at Get Ahead with Nick. Go look at it on wherever you can look at things, you'll see it. Um, and that's it. Now we're done. We love you guys and thanks for listening.